Thank you for joining us. Today's an interactive day, very much so. No real ground rules. It'd be great if you keep your video on because we're going to be talking and sharing a lot today. Come off mute to ask questions if you want to. Use the chat board. We're going to be doing a bit of breakout into some groups here because I really want to get some ideas from you. And let me share my screen. So here we go. So that's not the one I wanted to share. So let's go over to here. Good. So the session today is called Co-Creating the GDS Forum. So it's really, we have the GDS Forum coming up in Poland in June, and this event has always been about kind of co-creation. And so we really wanted to invite you, are kind of our stakeholders, our partners, our friends, to be part of this journey. So the idea is to kind of explain to you what the GDS Forum is and the Impact Day, and really get you involved in helping us kind of co-create the purpose, the value, the themes, the areas of focus that you would like to look at and work on. At the same time, we thought we'd share how we do things at the GDS movement. We've become pretty good over the years at these online collaborative formats, and we've never kind of shared the kind of how we do this. So there's a little bit of science behind it and a little of a process. So we thought we'd share that because that may help you, and you can take that into your own events. So that's really what we're going to do. So I start off and I explain the structure of the event, and then we go into kind of the kind of more collaborative side of things of where do we go, what's happening in the world, and what do we need from an event like this. So the GDS Forum is an event for destination leaders and destination professionals, and all those kind of sub actors of that area. So it is an unconference. So there is a no PowerPoint rule in the whole thing. So we're not allowed PowerPoints. There's no kind of keynote speakers. There'll be me and a team of other people facilitating. But the idea here is we create a collaborative space. Any of you in the audience been to any of the GDS forums? Be kind of nice if there's maybe put in the chat box. If you've been, anything you got out of it would be kind of cool. That would be nice. Would be kind of what you saw. So that would be kind of cool. It's been in Valencia before, and it's been in Bruges last year. And so the idea here is a very passionate, shared interchange between people. It really is the idea is you walk away knowing 100+ new people, and you've really grown, you've shared, and you learned from each other. So that's the GDS Forum. So that's really focused on destination professionals. We have the Impact Day. So the GDS Forum, I'll show you in a second, is kind of a day and a half. Then after that, we have the Impact Day. So this is really focused on the events impact, the business events ecosystem. And it's really about how do we use events as catalyst for positive change in cities. Right? So how do we use events to catalyze societal change? And this is really, we're going to be working a lot on that. And that's really working also at the Szczecin level, our host level. So we're thinking about how we invite, associations. There's going to be a lot of associations there this year. Policymakers, youth innovators, community organizations, and destinations. So it's a different focus. Last year, we were in this amazing church in Bruges, which is a really, really cool venue. And then in between that, we have the GDS Awards, which is where we celebrate people who are doing amazing work. So we have 3 awards this year. We have the Impact Award. As it says, we give that to the organization, the destination, who's done the most amazing work on impact. We have the Innovation Award, which is an award for the destination that is highlighting the most innovation in the work they're doing with regeneration. And then we have a new award called the Changemaker Award, which could be for anyone in your destination that is doing amazing work. So on regeneration and sustainability. These awards are opened on Monday, so you can nominate people, you can nominate yourself. I'll put maybe Julie, you could put a link into the chat where the people can find out more information. But these are fun, and we invite you to participate. So this is the way it sits down. So kind of Tuesday is all day is the GDS Forum. We have a nice dinner in the evening in somewhere called Villa Lenza. It's a beautiful villa. Wednesday is the GDS Forum in the morning, and in the afternoon we have a catch up around the GDS Index. So those cities working on the GDS Index come up and they share challenges and issues and opportunities around the GDS Index. And then we have another session, which is a new thing for us, which is with the Polish Convention Bureau, which is called The Future is Now. So this is a session for destinations and associations. And this is kind of the kickoff to the shift. From kind of Wednesday afternoon, we're now bringing in associations, more government stakeholders, more local stakeholders as well. And then we do the awards. We've got a fantastic evening celebration at the Philharmonia. Beautiful, beautiful building designed by a fantastic Spanish architect. And then we go into Thursday, which is the Impact Day. And then we have a nice dinner to celebrate and have some fun at the end of the day. So kind of a shift from just pure destinations to kind of that mixed destination association and a client focus as well. So that's how it looks like. So I'm going to talk to you a bit more about our location and where we're going to as well in a second. But I thought right now I'll share with you Recode and the cube we use. This is our design framework. So something I've been using probably 10 plus years. It was originally designed by a guy called M.G. Taylor, who's kind of the guru of facilitation. And he created a network of excellent and expert facilitators called the Value Web, which I'm part of. Very simple. 6 key parts. You kind of start off with, really clearly defining what is the shared intention of us coming together, of what driving our work. Why? What is that purpose? Why are we coming together? Once you start to look at that, you start to think about, well, who are the players? If we've got that intention, who are the players we need to involve? And this is a key shift. It's like, you're not spectators, you're players, right? Who needs to be on the pitch or the field? So the field is then, what are the issues, the trends, the forces, the dynamics that shape and affect what we're trying to do? Is it climate change? Is it political unrest? Is it war? Is it management buying? So all those kind of trends and forces that affect what we're doing. Then we start to look at knowledge. What do we want to learn? What do we want to share as a team of players, right? And what will be good to share to help that purpose come together? And then we start to look at the design. How do we start to build up and design the encounter, the experience, the gathering? So it's the methods, the tool, the flow, the sequence, the steps we take. And then lastly is then how do we then facilitate everything so that everyone is involved? All the players are on the pitch, all the players are playing, all the players can share, learn, build, have fun. And so that is really simple. That's our approach. I think like all good things, simple is good. But it does help us really think through that. So I'm going to take you through some of this, and then we're going to invite you to kind of help us look at this and really think about what we should be designing. So when we do this, I like to start with some design principles. And so these are the kind of design principles that we've created over the last 2 GDS Forum. We're not going to be looking at the Impact Day today. We've done a lot of work on that in Poland. So just to let you know, we're going to be looking at the GDS Forum today. So for the forum, our design principles is that first of all, we're trying to design as a system, not a series of sessions. So it's something very connected in a day and a half. It's about purpose, not PowerPoint, right? So it's designed as a systemic shift. We don't want just session density, cram everything in. It's about how do we design a series of discussions and debates that build up on everything, right? So then it shifts to be all about
I think we've lost Guy.
build
Yes,
up.
thank you for that. Yeah. Guy, I think we lost you for a second.
Did we?
Yep.
Am I back
Okay.
again?
Yep, you are. It was just a few seconds.
Thank you. Thanks for jumping in and let me know. So then we design as a journey. Insights build, deepen, convert across the GDS forum. So it's very iterative. The fourth principle is it's got to be designed around the place. Szczecin, Poland in this case, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is really core. That's kind of key to regeneration. It's place-based as well. And then we have a regenerative mindset. So it's not just about us regenerating and thinking about how we regenerate destinations, but how we regenerate ourselves. So we all have to kind of leave this place more energized, more inspired, more capable, more connected. And so the balance is really key. The personal wellness is really core to how we design this event. So those are design principles. Our theme this year, which is key parts of design, is called Better Together. Hence, that's why we started off with Jack Johnson singing Better Together. And we didn't actually contract him to write that song. I think he did that a few years ago. But we're going to build up off what he was saying and this whole kind of concept that we are better as a team together. All of us working together, destinations working together, young people working with old people better together, government and associations and clients and suppliers better together. So this whole thing about if we collaborate purposely, intentionally, and in the right way, we're better together. So that's the theme. And I think with all the separation in the world at the moment and everything that is happening, I think it's even more valid and resonates, I think, than even before when we started. So that's the theme. Our players. Let's go to that methodology. So the players, these are the organisers. The event is organised by ourselves, GDS Movement, with me for Impact, and then our wonderful hosts, which is the city of Szczecin in Poland, the Szczecin Convention Bureau, and then the Polish Convention Bureau and Polish Tourism. So it's a real amazing piece of work here. I'll talk about Szczecin a little bit. Szczecin invited us to come to the city. It's a city that is in an amazing regeneration of themselves. It was a city devastated by the war and then kind of in some ways held in limbo. Was it Poland? Was it Germany? Was it Poland, Germany? And so the kind of development was a bit kind of slowed down and delayed by that limbo-ness. And then over the last few years, it is a city really changing in its way. But it's a beautiful city. The water, the river is at the front. The River Oder is a beautiful place and really brings the city together. It was a big shipyard and history of ships and the marine industries, which is still important today, but it's kind of been changed. And a lot of those spaces that were used in the shipyard areas are now being regenerated and used as cultural spaces. Our main venue, ironically, I think this is quite funny, our main venue was a slaughterhouse. It's where the cows were offloaded off the ships and then slaughtered. So, I mean, how ironic is that when we're trying to get people to think of more balanced diets? But again, that's the whole concept of regeneration. Things can change. So the whole city is changing. Beautiful green public spaces. The city government and the mayor, or we could call him the president, and his team have big visions. They've got something called the floating garden vision about how the city can transform. So they invited us to come to help catalyze the work they're doing around tourism and events. And so that's what we've been doing for the last 9 months, working with them, helping them on different areas and how to use the GDS Forum and Impact data catalyze this change. And it's exciting because a lot of stuff is happening, and I believe our collaboration is creating some changes. So that's exciting. So that is core of what we're doing, right? That's our place. The players. So obviously attendees. So the forum is really, it's for destination professionals. So there's destination sustainability managers. We wanted to create this as a key coming together of DMO, of city, national, regional sustainability managers. When we started working all those years ago, that role didn't even exist. Now more and more of you have that role. We're also inviting other elements, other people in DMOs, from consultancies, from entrepreneurs, from city. We're going to have a big focus to trying to bring more city sustainability managers this year. We're inviting destination professionals to come with a city sustainability manager too. So this is the numbers from Bruges, pretty much similar to what the numbers were in Valencia. And we see what that split is this time, but we're trying to get, as I said, even more people from cities because we think there's that can help us have the debate. So that's the back, right? That's the event. Those are the players. That's the city we're going to. Anyone got any questions? Anyone want to ask anything before we kind of go to the next area? Next bit is all about kind of collaboration and what we would like to do with the event. And I invite that, Julia Milder, very, very involved in designing this and setting this up. Do you have anything to add? Anything you would like to say? Good. We have some wonderful people from Chechen as well as in the audience. So do feel free to say anything or share anything, either come off mute or in the chat box. Great. Okay. If not, then we'll carry on.
Oh, guys.
Yeah. Is that Leo?
Yes, that's Leo,
Hey!
Yay. Sorry for the lack of the vision here. My camera is broken. And actually, I'm eating a cake, because I was celebrating this meeting and, took me a time. So I would like to welcome everybody. On behalf of the city of Szczecin and our team, we are really looking forward and are really happy that we will be the hosts of the event and we'll have a chance to work together to change the world a little bit and to show you the beautiful city of Szczecin and our fantastic people. So
fantastic. Leo heads up the team in Szczecin. The first thing we will be getting you to do is learning how to say the city name. He's been giving me personal instruction on this, and sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. Yeah. So thanks, Leo. So we now want to kind of get your inputs. Here's an event, it's coming up. What should it focus on? And so we would like your thoughts, right? What are the trends, tensions, forces that you're working with, right, in the fields of sustainable tourism events right now or regenerative tourism events? What should the GDS Forum respond to? And so in the interest of collaboration, we're going to break you up into some smaller groups so you get to meet some new people. We want you to kind of share what you're working on. And the goal is we want you to have a look and define at least 3 forces or trends we cannot ignore that have to be part of the debate. And then because we're talking about systemic shifts and how we change the system of tourism events, we've got to be looking at uncomfortable truths, things that we shouldn't ignore. So we're going to invite you to do that. We have some supporting tools over here and we use a Miro board. So I'm inviting you to come to the Miro board. Julia's going to share the link with you in a second. And when you get put into your group, you'll see a group number. And you go to your group and we have a question. So there's a board. So this is group 1. So there's a couple of questions here. So that first one is, what trends, tensions and forces are shaping the field of sustainable tourism events right now? So that's the first question I just shared. Then there's a second question is, what capabilities are destinations currently lacking? So we'd like you to kind of have a think. What do you think? What are the subjects, the case studies or initiatives that you would like to know more about? How do we build capacity amongst ourselves? What are you interested to know about? And what you'd like to share? Maybe you've actually got an idea that you'd like to share. Milo and I were just talking yesterday. She had a great idea about stuff that we could share in the work she's doing in Rostock. Brilliant. So can I share that up? At the moment, there's a blank piece of paper. We have not designed this. So all of this input is going to be used into how we build up that day and a half. So that's how we're going to do. Olga, hello, Anna, nice to see you there. So, yep, sounds good. So, Julia.
Yes, you can find the link to the Miro board in the chat. When I will be splitting you into groups, you will be able to see and read the number of your group. So please go to the board that corresponds to your group number. If you have any issues or any questions, you will have our amazing facilitator from the GDS movement also present in the groups. So you can ask them any question that you need.
So you've got to connect with someone maybe you know, maybe you don't know from the GDS movement, and I think we've got I've got one of our colleagues, Meda from Impact, Meet for Impact as well. So that would be nice. So yeah, let's take it from there. And we'll be back again in how many minutes, Julia?
For the 2 exercises altogether, or just for the first one?
Oh, the 2 together.
Perfect. So it's going to be around 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Brilliant.
All right.
And if you don't know how to use Miro, your facilitator can help you as well. Explain how things to do it. Easier as a smaller team. So thank you. Invite you to give us some ideas. Invite you to come in. It really makes a big difference. And then we come together and then we discuss stuff together and some other questions as well.
Indeed. Okay. We'll see you in a little bit.
See some people already arriving. The board's full. So just like to do a little bit of sharing out some harvesting of this. And so I'm going to pick on the rooms and the groups. And then, I don't want you to go through all of the posts because there's so many there. But maybe pick 2 or 3 things from your boards that, really, really jumped out to you. So that kind of first thing is, what are the trends, tensions, and forces? So I'm going to pick on room 1 first. I think that was Antonia, your team there. What's, maybe, as I said, 2 or 3 things from you. There's the board. I actually share the screen. So, everyone, I won't share the screen because let's see each other. But people can go to group 1 and have a look at the board as well.
Yes. We did a lot of work. So, Kira, do you want to share the 2 that you selected? Because we did have time for this conversation at the end of the work that we did, and Kira selected 2, which I think we are all happy with. So, yeah.
Yeah, for us in Berlin, we're really interested about the new EU regulations, the EMCO, and we try to find out what adjustments to be needed concerning our products and also our communications. So that would be a very interesting topic for us. And a second one is the DEI topic. Are there any best practices about DEI within the DMO or also, within this community? Do you have any DEI projects? We try to find our way to that topics. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Good. Well, you're in the right group. Antonio and I are just finishing a white paper about EMCO. So
yeah, she also told me.
That will be out, I guess, next month probably now. So we're just finalizing that. So a lot of changes. Definitely something we should. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. What about room 2, Jennifer?
Thank you. Yes, we also talked a bit about kind of legislation and kind of a bit of mixed understanding, mixed messages, and confusing terminology, and maybe unpacking some of that could be helpful. We also talked about kind of those uncomfortable truths around, well, it's not an uncomfortable truth, but longing for peace and geopolitical tensions and things like that, and how we get that political commitment on sustainability. So we talked a little bit about that being challenging in destinations, to bring people on board and to understand why we're doing what we're doing, and also challenging to get data from the right people in the right places, because they don't always understand what we're trying to achieve. we did have a conversation around what do we mean by regeneration, because this can mean different things in different places. So, for example, it can mean things around inward investment and bringing businesses in, and destinations often see it as a building new infrastructure and growth. And how do we kind of get past that, or maybe look at some examples where things are shifting. But yes, it was good conversation. Anything else from our team? Want to add anything? No.
What about that kind of second question around capabilities and kind of specific subjects and case studies? What were some of the things you're thinking you'd like to see in the program?
Yeah, one of the things that we talked a lot about was kind of reliable data and measurements. It'd be great to see some good examples from other destinations who are doing that really well. We also talked a lot about resident engagement and community engagement mechanisms. Any good case studies around destinations who are doing this really well and have had success with resident engagement would be really helpful. And then probably the third one for us was looking at crisis management and risk, and how do we plan for that? How do we deal with that? They were, that kind of prioritizing things when there's so many things you should be doing as well. How do we look at what's the most important thing?
Fantastic. Cool. Good. Love that. Well done, group. There's some great ideas there. Got me thinking. Okay, room 3. I think that was Milda Jess.
Yes, and we have a nominated spokesperson, Troy. So I'm passing
Troy. You're on mute, mate.
You're on mute, Troy. That helps.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had some great conversations and a lot of diverse ideas that came to light. I think if we zoom out into a global perspective, the first thing that is very evident from what was said is the pace of change. And when I talk about the pace of change, we link it to the global ambitions of the Sustainable Development Agenda of 2030, the climate agreement of which all the countries of the world signed up to, and the ambitions within that climate agreement that by 2030, everybody is supposed to have halved their carbon emissions by 45%. But the pace of change and adaptation, it looks like more than 75% is required in order to keep the temperature to 1.5. Now, a number of challenges contribute to this dilemma, and that is the cost of living crisis around the world, which then brings the big elephant in the room about sustainability is too expensive. So therefore, we are not going to do anything. We are going to leave it alone, because we are also fearing one of the forces, which is greenwashing. And that now greenwashing is becoming the new scapegoat for people not taking action on sustainability, as opposed to focusing on, what matters. And what matters is that we only have one planet. So if we only have one planet, our sustainability initiatives should take a holistic approach. And because we are humans, we tend to worry about the social element of sustainability more than the other two elements. And at the expense of the planet, the environmental sustainability initiatives, there is not enough of. There is more damage being done by us flying to events. And this is where I think your theme of Better Together is a great opportunity to get destinations to be part of the conversation, because destinations who represent the destination in which events happen, they are not doing enough to communicate their sustainability initiatives or including or making their sustainability initiatives part of event programs. What am I talking about there? I'm saying, for example, we know that flying to an event is over 80% of the carbon travel footprint of an event. Now they have the ability to incentivize travel pathways to an event, and they should come up with those travel pathways that are then included in the planning of the event, so that then in turn starts to nudge people's behavior and changes people's behavior and the way in which they fly. So I think that because the uncomfortable truth is the perception that sustainability is too expensive, you need to turn that on its head and challenge destinations to create incentives rather than scapegoats of greenwashing, for example.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Some really good points there, Troy. Thanks for sharing. Some good, yeah, love that. Greenwashing as a scapegoat. That's cool. Okay, room 4. Let's hear from you. I think that's Marta or Anne.
So we also talked about DEI in events. So just it would be good to have some best practices and just seeing that are up to date and just seeing how to include different groups of people when it comes to sort of the my sector. Also, huge topic of accessibility in tourism. So again, that's something that just sharing best practices and just seeing what's happening, how to include visitors, but also residents. So just looking at that sort of the accessibility and broader DEI topic. That was one thing. And another thing, we talked about the unpredictability of events, mainly the sort of the weather events, the climate related events. So how DMOs can prepare for and sort of respond and recover from this unpredictable events from crises that they are in. So and that was connected to sort of to the second topic when we talked about skills. So one of the things was that that destinations don't really know what to do when unpredictable events hit. So it will be good to know how to react, how to communicate, but also very interestingly, there was another topic about skills in DMO. So what are, again, because everything is so unpredictable and changing so fast, what are the skills needed for an effective DMO, and connected to that, what is the kind of the mix of people needed? So, so skills of young people, but also skills of people, over 50 who've also got a lot of experience, but a completely different approach to life. So kind of just looking at that, skills and resources in DMO, how to make it effective and change and exchange best practices and exchange sort of ideas, how to make it better. How are DMOs dealing with it? Some DMOs will probably have different skills requirements than the others, and kind of how to deal with this, to deal with the challenges that DMOs face. And the third one was the AI, but again, how to use AI to sort of help sustainability in DMO. So kind of that sort of positive way of AI driving change, but helping the destinations to be more sustainable. I don't know, have I missed anything, guys? Leslie, Anna, thank you very much for the discussion to our group. Actually, it was really interesting.
Guy, I think you're on mute. I did not mute you.
Okay, that's brilliant. Love it. Some really great thoughts there. Okay, so then let's kind of jump to that next kind of question. So if we're going to go to the next stress, really is then, and this is we do this as a group, right? Is if the GDS Forum is going to really truly serve its shared intention to drive sustainability and regeneration, right? This is what it's all about. What are we doing? And there's kind of two parts to this question. What looks different in 6 months or 12 months? What have we managed to shift? If we're going to focus on something systemically, what could it be that we could shift? And if we are going to do that, what does that mean we have to produce through the forum? You know, do we do a declaration or a document or a commitment, or is it just sharing? What is it we're trying to shift, and what could it look like that we actually produce? I like to have clear outcomes and a plan how we follow up on that. So interested to know from that. On the Miro board, if you go to the right-hand side, there's another board. And so we have a board there. So I invite you to come to that. I'm going to bring it over to me. Bring everyone to me there. Well, I'll bring you there. Cool. So invite you to kind of put your thoughts into there. Write down, but also feel free to share out. You know, if anyone has got anything that you'd like to share, please let us know. Great. Is anyone feeling inspired? They'd like to share a story that they've or an idea that they wrote down. No, I'm going to do some picking. Volunteer or voluntold?
Nina raised her hand.
Yes, I would start with a Lego serious play. I can always pitch for that. Although I'm not certified as a trainer myself, but I've learned this method many years ago. I think back in 2013 when we were facilitating a workshop for the World Bank. And our job was to build the system for universal health coverage in South Africa. And it's very abstract and it's very complicated. And this methodology called sculpting, or also Lego serious play, which is one way of doing sculpting, helps you to build a complex, huge system, which you usually would not grasp at once from reading, or from concepts or anything. But if you build it with all these figures and all these men and women and cats and dogs and everything, you just see everything and the interconnectedness and also dysfunctionalities maybe of the system. So that's why I love this approach of sculpting, which is from Presencing Institute. And I combine it with Lego serious play because it's so easy and so fast to build with Lego.
Nice.
Yeah.
So mixing a bit of Theory U and a bit of Lego as well. I like that.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah. The combination of Theory U and Lego. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Good idea. Fantastic. Anything else? Anyone else? Either kind of an outcome you'd like to see that you've written down you would like to bring alive a bit more? I can see some people voting as well with their thumbs and stuff on there. So that's another brilliant thing you can do if you want to to click on and give a thumb to an idea. You can do that, but if you just click on a post-it note and then you'll see a little smiley face. If you click on that smiley face, then you can give it an icon. It's kind of nice stuff to do. And you made me think about, GSTC destination criteria is in development. Could we participate in making that better? It's a really good idea. I don't know. I've got a meeting with GSTC in a few minutes, so I'll throw that out to them. So that's good. It's already making a difference this session. I think Alexandra, you wrote something about concrete actions. I just wonder sometimes, we try to do so much. Could we all decide on doing a few things and a bit of focus? If we all could change one thing, maybe is that an approach?
I'm now here, sorry.
Hey.
Yeah. This accessible thing, it's because I defended my PhD just last week.
Oh, okay.
My research focus is on accessible tourism and um, how to design tourism products accessible and inclusive for a person with disabilities. And like I told earlier, we also want to do something for people with disabilities, but without them. So I think that the cooperation with people with disabilities is really important. And what's most important, that we need to provide the tools to mm, to inclusive them. Because, for example, when we've got deaf people, they can speak and they can tell for us what they want. So we need to translate it. For example, if when you were in Poland, we need Polish sign language translator to explain everything for them and to talk with them about it, how maybe they can see what we can change, what we can improve. It's really important, I think, that for them to have the voice about it.
Yeah, love that. Love it, love it, love it. Cool. Thank you, Alexander. That's great. Anyone else? Either an output or a format? I like the idea of reverse pitches, communities pitch to the industry. That's a cool idea. I'm not sure who had that one. That's a really cool idea.
That was me. It was kind of because I was thinking about that we do have a relatively homogeneous group in the room, and how do you add a few instigators or provocateurs into the mix, or how could you kind of push them a little bit?
Yeah, it's good. What I like is that there's so many ideas here. We're not going to be able to fit everything in a day and a half. But we also have Impact Day, and some of these ideas translate really well to Impact Day, and in fact, even could work even better with Impact Day because it is, as you said, a more diverse audience. And that's deliberate there because we're trying to get focus with a forum and then diversity and different opinions with the Impact Day. So, and a different format as well. Brilliant, brilliant. And then lastly, how would make this GDS forum unlike any other industry event? Deliver it as a hybrid event. That's an interesting one. At the moment, we've made a really conscious decision not to do it as a hybrid event because we don't feel that we can do the really in-depth work that we're trying to do with the people in the room and do it as a hybrid as well. So there's a conscious reason for that. Doesn't mean we can't challenge that in the future, but this year it's not going to happen. But we can challenge ourselves in the future how we do that.
So I can add to that the last unconference format was really what stayed in mind. So the no PowerPoint rule is great, and the small gamification things like rock, paper, scissors last time was really a connecting tool. It was a it was a tool for conversation and connection, and really be one group. So this really stayed in mind. The unconference format was great.
Thank you. That's
is great.
Yeah, we love that. We're just gonna force ourselves to get better.
I think also one thing I sort of added just now, I just remembered from conversations with some people who are not here now, but because we talk a lot about sharing best practices, which is great, but also somebody mentioned that could we share sort of non-best practice. So actually share the challenges that we deal with rather than, because, best practice, a lot of it is, we've got bank best practice, people destination communicate the best practices, how they do things, but nobody really talks about things that didn't work or what were the challenges and how they sort of overcome them. So that could be another good session. So have 2 or 3 topics, say, for example, accessibility or climate mitigation or whatever topics will be, whatever we choose based on today, and then also have like a sort of non-best practice or anti-best practice
I like it.
session.
Yeah, you kind of make me think about this festival of F-ups, everything.
Yeah,
We get to share where we really screwed up and what really
yeah,
didn't work. And that could be hilarious. We could do something
that would
really
be
fun
exactly, that could be hilarious. And yeah,
where
no
you really,
judgment.
yeah, no judgment, where you really screwed up and kind of obviously what we learned from that. That could be really good fun. I like that idea. Yeah, cool. Good. Well, kind of, anyone got anything, last thing to share? Time has run up. Well, then, if not, then I thank you. I feel like I'm a chef with an amazing pantry of ingredients, right? And I've got this amazing kitchen full of the best fruit and veg and fish, and now we have to go and plan the menu. So that was the idea of this. So thank you very much. We'll be coming back to you with some more ideas as we develop these. I do appreciate your time. It's incredibly useful, and most of all, we would love to see you in Szczecin. It is an absolutely amazing city. Really getting to love it. Marta is from Szczecin and has been always there selling me about her hometown. So, and it's a place I really got to love and enjoy in the few trips I've been there. So 16th to 18th of June. If you are participating in the GDS index, you already get a for 25% discount. If you book before April, whatever is it? April, whatever is. Julia, tell me what date is in April. The 10th, we have 25% offers for early bird. So we'd love to see you there. It's going to be brilliant. As I said, remember, you got GDS Forum and then you got Impact Days. So lots of opportunity. If you want to collaborate in a different way and you have an idea, come to us. We have an amazing team of people on the ground. Anna, Olga, Leo, and many other people there who've got lots of ideas of how we use this event to transform what they're already doing. So we'd love to see you and invite you to be part of that journey. So thank you very much.